Yo, what's happening? This is B-Boy Tech Report, and today on deck what we got is the Yamaha Reface DX. So the Yamaha Reface DX. The Reface DX is an 8-voice digital synthesizer, and if you don't know anything about the Reface line is kind of like reissues of 4 keyboards or synthesizers from Yamaha's historic product line. These are the classics though. So the DX, in my opinion, was the digital synth that broke analog. This is the Reface DX, an 8-voice poly synth, and it has 37 keys, mini keys. As you can see, 37 mini keys. It's a smaller form factor keyboard. It's very travel friendly. This can slide down into your book bag or in your suitcase you carry on, and you could be on your way. And well, let's get into a close-up on it and see what it looks like. Like I said, it's a plastic design, but you know, it's actually not bad. It's just sturdy, but it works out pretty well. It has 2 speakers on either end, on the left and right. It has a pitch bend wheel and volume, octaves up and down. Right, then it has this data entry space, and in the data entry space, that's all touch. It's kind of like a multi-touch screen, but it's called a multi-touch surface. And there you can kind of interact with the settings, as you can see here. All right, and then there's the screen. It's not a bad screen. It's actually bigger than some other things that are on the market, considering in ratio to the size of the actual device. Moving over to the right a little bit, you have the FM section where you can control the frequency, the level, the algorithm, and the feedback. So that's all the FM parameters that you control there. And obviously, once you touch one of those, you can kind of go through the settings with the multi-touch screen or surface. Okay, and moving along to the other side here, you have the voice selection settings. So on the voice selection settings, you have a few things you can grab, right? You can go to bank. There's 8 banks of 8. You can do edit. Hitting edit will give you access to the different parameters that you can edit. For instance, you can edit the op1, op2, op3, op4. You'll notice as we hit those, the screen obviously changes and allows you to do the changes again through the multi-touch surface, right? You can also edit the envelope. You can, or the envelope level. You can edit the envelope rate. You can edit the LFO, and let's see what kind of waves that has. All right, so you have square. Oh, actually it has quite a few waves, so you can see what they are there. Sine, triangle, saw up, saw down, square, sample and hold. There was sample and hold 8, and then there's sample and hold. Then there's back to sine. So, and you can obviously do different things here to adjust the different parameters. So getting back to these, the edit areas. So then you can also go to the pitch, and you can edit how that sounds, of course, using the multi-touch screen. Further down to the end, you have the function. Now, the function provides you a way to kind of do global parameter edits. So function voice, how many polyphony, you can get into the MIDI, set that all up how you want to. And every time you hit the function button, you'll see that changes. So you can go into the system, job, voice, MIDI, system, job, voice, MIDI, system, job. Then there's the store where you can actually change the names and store different patches that you may have created. Then the effects, phaser, delay, reverb, through, and that's just no effect on really. distortion, wah, chorus, flanger, back to phaser. And this has 2 effects blocks. So that's effects block 1. You hit effect again and you get to effects block 2. So you can actually put 2 effects on any sound that you're working on. And then there's the looper. With the looper, it's pretty simple. You have the guide or whatever. You can hit record, stop. You can touch the tempo. It'd be nice if there was a tap tempo, but there is not. So you kind of have to hit the slider, bring the number down to what you want. So once you're ready, you hit record. And you can see the numbers are going up. And I'm gonna stop at 16. And it automatically starts playing. Still counting. As you saw, the metronome was actually the synth. And it kept in time with the tempo 91. And I have quantize off. You can quantize. Right? But if you feel like you've played it in time and it's good, you could just leave it like that. Now, here's the thing about the algorithm. So the algorithm basically takes the operators. The operators can either be an oscillator, so to speak, or a modulation source. There's 4 of them here. The algorithm decides what's the voice and what's the modulation and what configuration they lay in. We can change that, and notice how the sound changes. And you can further affect these and change different settings to the operators. We're changing the frequencies of the operators. You can change the levels of the operators. So if you want some operators louder than the other, obviously you can do that. And you have a feedback on these, and I don't think the original DX had that. So we're giving feedback to each of the operators. You can see how the sound begins to change pretty dramatically. Right? Right. Okay. So let's go back to the algorithms and let's change that algorithm a few times. And you'll see how obviously still the sound changes pretty dramatically from one setup to the next. We'll just go through a couple of the sounds with those basic chords playing. Is I want to stop the playback and clear so I can record something else. It's as simple as hitting clear. And when I first started doing this, I would hit clear here. Does nothing. It's not an iPhone. It's not a smartphone. So you have to hit this guy. Boom. That clears it. So now you can record something else. But at any rate, I really like this patch. All right, so that's the DX. Let's look at the back right quick. All right, the DX has the, just like all the Refaces, you can do MIDI over USB, connect that to your computer and go ahead and sequence away. You can also do regular MIDI. It has a mini jack here, but it also has the cable that comes with it, like so. So you can do the in and out, MIDI in and out. And then on the back, it also has aux in, so you can send sounds in and affect those that way through the synth itself. Phones, output left and right. If you just plug in a cable to the left, it'll be mono. Plug in both, it's stereo. And has a sustain pedal, power, and 12-volt power adapter, which comes with it, but it's also powered. Let's turn that guy off. But as we're doing right now, it's powered by 6 AA batteries. All right. And that is the Yamaha DX. Yo, so added note, these are mini keys, right? It's a 37 key mini key keyboard, but this is different. This is not the typical mini keys. I mean, this is well built. This is good quality, and I imagine it would have to be. The name is Yamaha, right? Yeah, it's the device is built primarily of plastic, but it's well constructed, and it's got a little weight to it, even though it's lightweight enough to travel with you. Now, the thing that I think is really cool is, well, a couple things. One, with the mini keys just feel good. These are the best mini keys. If you don't jive with mini keys, and you don't jive with mini keys no matter what the quality. But I will say that if you're on the fence about mini keys, these would probably put you over to the side where you'd want to play these and want to grab this device. So this has been the Yamaha Reface DX. This is B-Boy Tech Report. And to tell you the truth, I was a little skeptical initially because I believe these came out. They cost $5.99, and I just wasn't with $5.99. That makes me second guess all of the value sometimes if the price is not quite right. Now the price looks like it's been dropped down to $3.99, which changes the whole game. That totally changes the game. So it's $3.99 now, and I totally recommend it to anybody, especially the DX. I didn't expect this because, the way I look at it, I love analog. I love the history of analog. I love the warmth of analog, and I do like digital, but in my mind, the DX is the digital synth that killed analog. So I didn't think that the DX would be one of my faves of the four, but it actually is. The operators are dope because those are not only wave generators or oscillators, so to speak, but they're also modulation sources. So out of the 4 waves that are there, or out of the 4 operators that are there, they can be used in all sorts of different configurations or algorithms to change the sound that you're creating. It gives you a totally crazy wide array of sound sculpting possibilities. Right. So yeah, this is the Yamaha Reface DX, and I'm recommending it. I'm actually stamping this certified dope. Boom, B-Boy Tech.